Hello and welcome on Thomas Geiger Car. Today with the Mercedes EQV. After the SUV EQC and shortly before the electric luxury sedan EQS, the electric alphabet of Mercedes is filling up. Now with the first electric van. We have something somehow similar from Volkswagen, but that's only a retrofit aftermarket solution. Here, for the first time in a luxury van, we have all installed at the factory, one piece, one hand, and full electric drive with the full functionality of the V-Class. How that's gonna feel, what this car will deliver, and what you can expect when it hits the market later that year, that's what we're gonna figure out here at Thomas Geiger Car. On the first glimpse, the EQV looks like just another V-Class, with all the fuss and functionality that we know from the cars with diesel or petrol engines. If you take a little bit of a closer look, you'll realize there are some EQ features installed. From the design point of view, that's mainly the rose gold applications, the blue leather and the copper stitching on the leather. And from a technical point of view, it is the MBUX system with EQ intelligence, meaning an intelligent navigation system that takes into consideration your actual range and all the charging ports along your route. So even if you plan a route that is longer than your battery range, you will find a way to get to your destination with perfect planned charging stops along the way. Talking about charging, the vehicle is equipped with a 100 kilowatt battery, of which 90 kilowatt hours are used, and it has the capability of fast charging. If you find a fast charger, the first 80% of the battery will be recharged in about 3/4 of an hour. The EQV is powered by a 150 kilowatt motor on the front axle, and even if the car weighs half a ton more than the ICE model, it is still quite a dynamic vehicle. 0 to 100 in roughly 10 seconds, and if you go full throttle, you can go 140 kilometers per hour. If you want it even faster, you just have to pay 200 euros more and they'll get you 160 kilometers per hour. Not really reasonable to do so, because if you go faster than 120 kilometers, your range will melt down like ice in the sunshine. Talking about the range, the norm cycle gives you 417 kilometers in NEFZ. If you take WLTP, you should reach 350 kilometers, and if you just use reasonable everyday driving, you can get at least 300 kilometers. Mercedes is targeting two different customer groups with the EQV. On the one hand, it's the big family loving the big tour, but only wanting to have a small economical footprint. And on the other hand, it's the commercial customer. Taxi drivers can use this car and will get over one shift with the battery capacity, and shuttle services can offer a clean way of transportation. No matter if you drive your guests to a movie premiere, to a luxury hotel, or if you pick them up at the airport, you can leave your guilt feelings behind in the future. The V-Class seems to be the perfect car for the electrification, because even if the battery is huge with 100 kilowatt hours of capacity, of which 90 kilowatt hours will be used, it fits into the floor and you don't lose any space or flexibility. Floor is still totally flat, you still got at least 1,000 liters of trunk space, and if you take out all the seats, you got more than 3,000 liters of cargo volume. And you can move the seats around as easy as in your living room. You can slide them forward, backward, you can turn them around, fold them down, or take them out as you know it from the V-Class. And it's not only one EQV that will head to the markets towards the end of the year. It's two, because you have the standard size and the long wheelbase, meaning 3 meters 20 of wheelbase and 5 meters 15 of length for the standard version, and roughly plus 20 centimeters for the long version. So space is definitely not an issue in this vehicle. Thanks for joining me on that first ride with the new Mercedes EQV. a totally new experience for me. I know electric vehicles as sedans and luxury SUVs, and I know them as small and compact city cars. But in a van like that, it is new. Not so much for the driver, because driving the EQV feels like driving a bit bigger EQC. But the passengers have a totally different experience. Space and silence gives you a travel comfort that you only can experience in a car like an S-Class, at least without the electric drivetrain. The only problem is the price tag. The car costs roughly 71,000 euro in Germany. And even if you take down the government incentives, it's still a pretty expensive car. But hey, we're talking about Mercedes, and you shouldn't be surprised by that. But if you're used to the high prices, there is one thing you're not used to when driving a V-Class. The end of the journey always ends at a charging station, and you'll end your trip with grabbing the cable and charging the vehicle.